In our proposal for facing the challenges of discrimination and migrant integration, we wanted to focus on people's prejudice towards migrants and solutions to the root causes of these biases.
In the year ending 2020, 715,000 people migrated to the UK, which is the population of Sheffield.
Migrants face challenges when they migrate due to discrimination from domestic-born citizens and the policies implemented by government. The immigration system is complicated and made up of short-term policies responding to various political pressures. Even if a migrant is successful when they may be sent to an immigration centre, that often lacks basic sanitation, which causes disease to spread quickly. This is made worse due to not having as good access to healthcare. Furthermore, they are often prevented from learning the language or getting a job, which makes it hard to connect with people. This discrimination is often sourced from the media and a lack of education on dispelling migrant stereotypes, and the public often continue to believe misinformation, especially regarding migrants, even when it has been corrected.
The media often oversimplifies, misrepresents or embellishes stories on migrant coverage, and social media apps only further this spread of misinformation. A report by activist group Avaz about disinformation spread on the messaging group WhatsApp found that 14% of the stories surveyed were anti-migrant, and a further 25% contained racist, hateful content. Also, the education system has created issues with migrants, as many children may go to school in rural areas and may never come into contact with migrants, only believing what is displayed in the media.
Once in a job, they may meet migrants or refuse to hire migrants based upon negative stereotypes. Overall, migrants are prevented from integrating into society, and misinformation continues with dangerous consequences.
There is misinformation throughout the media that portrays migrants negatively, which feeds through to people's perception of migrants. In many countries, such as France, Germany and the UK, migrants are seen as poorer, less educated, and more likely to be unemployed than is the case. This creates barriers between migrants and domestic-born citizens, as they have pre-made judgments of what migrants are like and are unwelcoming towards them.
The desired situation that we aim to achieve is a cohesive society where migrants and domestic-born citizens are integrated and migrants feel welcomed within a country. Although migrants may inevitably face challenges with moving and working in a new country, the aim is to try and support them as much as possible and remove the issue of discrimination and intolerance. Understandably, for domestic-born citizens who lack knowledge with adjusting to a changing demographic, we would like to be able to provide them with a better education and understanding of migration and break down their previous misconceptions of the situation. Finally, a key aim in order to reach this desired situation is correcting information failure that currently exists and the discrimination that is fed to the public via the media.
We intend to solve the misinformation through different avenues in order to target a larger range of age groups. One way of doing this is by introducing a new curriculum into PSHE in both primary and secondary schools. According to UNICEF, the earlier the better approach should be taken when talking to your child about issues such as discrimination against migrants. We believe that by tailoring the PSHE lessons to the different age groups, this will be more effective in reducing misinformation, as it will be in a controlled environment where the facts are known to be true. We have taken inspiration from Anytown, which is a youth leadership and human relations programme for teens, UNICEF, and articles surrounding discrimination against migrants.
From Year 2 to Year 6, children should be curious and parents are advised to discuss the media with their children according to UNICEF. This could be incorporated into school environment where groups are set up for pupils to discuss where they have seen discrimination against migrants and teach them how to spot misinformation in the media. A focus on social media should be taken, as 59% of UK children use social media before the age of 10. Furthermore, it is important for them to learn about different cultures and understand them. This could be taught by a teacher, but their peers should also have the opportunity to speak about their culture and be proud of it.
In secondary school, parents are encouraged to talk with their children about the news according to UNICEF. This can be transferred to a school setting, and the pupils can discuss what they have seen and ask questions such as, why are migrants negatively depicted in this article? The aim of this is to make the pupils aware that there is misinformation, as a quarter of 12 to 15-year-olds don't question whether the information they see on news apps or sites is true. Furthermore, they could compare real-life stories of migrants to those in the media, as this would consolidate pupils' ability to spot misinformation.
Throughout these lessons, an open and safe environment should be created as, according to Detta Jones, a senior member of the consulting team for diversity best practices. She says that learning about diversity shouldn't be about learning exactly what to say and what not to say, and instead make everyone feel this is an exploratory, energising discussion.
Moreover, we think that there is a necessity for a targeted and national anti-racism media campaign. Research has shown that over 2/3 of media coverage of discrimination focuses on individual, isolated incidents rather than historical and systemic discrimination. One solution to this problem, which is being implemented in the near future, is the Code of Practice on Disinformation. So far, it has been signed by companies such as Facebook, Google, Mozilla, and Twitter, meaning that it should be very effective. Recently, major social media and news outlets have begun to neglect thoroughly sourced and factual information in favour of higher engagement with their sources. Such gaps have been exploited by advertisers who aim to spread disinformation of political or ideological nature. The Brexit referendum and the 2016 US election are key examples of this. They were both influenced by the manipulation of targeted audiences. This manipulation was arranged by the notorious company Cambridge Analytica, which exploited Facebook's lax controls over its news content and sold the data of 87 million Facebook users. Legislation to hold sites accountable if they didn't uphold their duty of care to users has been proposed. However, it is a mammoth task to enforce.
Overall, we propose a twofold approach that takes into account the short and longer term. The National Anti-Racism Media Campaign will reduce discrimination in the short run, whilst the PSC2 lessons will have longer-term effects. We believe that this is the most efficient strategy of reducing the discrimination migrants face due to misinformation and allowing society to become more integrated.
Thank you for listening.